Good morning, my dearest friends. Today I am going to continue the story The Happy Prince. And according to need of the explanation, I will just going to explain. I just going to remind you that this story is all about the Happy Prince, the statue of a Happy Prince and his good deeds after his death, and a very noble and nice uh, a small tiny bird swallow. So I will wait with you one night longer. This was the statement made by the tiny bird swallow. Said the swallow, who really had good heart, and she was by nature, by heart, very good. He asked if he should take another ruby to the young playwright. And the statue of Happy Prince had seen for a long time so many unhappy people in the town, and that's why he wanted all the precious stones should be taken off from his body, from his eyes, from his sword, and should be given to the needy one, to the unhappy one, to the people of city who are very much unhappy, very much miserable. Their plights and condition is very bad, so that they could mend their um, plight and condition and could lead a life of happiness. Alas, I have no ruby now, said the prince. My eyes are all that I have left. Actually, his eyes were actually made of um, precious stones. They are made of rare sapphires, very costly and priceless stone, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. India was also known as the bird of golden birds, and the Kohinoor Hira is world famous. So it was also a center of priceless stones and gold mines. So that's why the narrator was giving reference of Indian sapphires, the hallmark of perfection, and the hallmark of purity, the hallmark of everything. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphires, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. He ordered the swallow to pluck out, means take out, one of them and take it to the playwright. Playwright means a person who used to write a drama. That is a playwright. He will sell it to the jeweler and buy firewood, because he was just shivering and he was unable to bear the extreme cold weather, and the statue of Happy Prince wanted that the playwright should sell the rare sapphires, means his eyes. That is actually the costly sapphires, costly stones, and that stone, if he will sell, he will get money, from the jeweler, and then he can purchase fire, and then he will be able to just write. He will be able to purchase firewoods, and then he will be able to finish his play very soon. He said, Dear prince, said the swallow, I cannot do that. And he began to weep. And now he is start crying. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. Means it was a request, very, very humble request from the prince, to the swallow. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. Garret, the and the young man he refers to the playwright. Now she reached at the house where the playwright was uh, unable to write his play, drama. Garret is the fireplace. It was easy enough to get in, as there was a hole in the roof. Through this he darted. Darted means a kind of movement, flying movement of a bird, and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands. This was the way of his sleeping, in order to, actually he was just hiding his face from the coldness, okay. So he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings, and when he looked up, he found the beautiful sapphire lying on the withered violets. Violets, this is the flower, okay, and it has withered, decayed, and there, when he opened his eyes, he could see that a very nice, beautiful sapphires, okay, costly stones were lying there on the by the side of, okay, on the withered, decayed flowers. I am beginning to be appreciated, he cried. This is from some great admirer. And now the playwright was very much happy. Now I can finish my play. And he looked quite happy. Now he was very much happy. Now see the happy prince. Now the title comes here. The happy prince was very much happy in his lifetime, and he wanted to make all the people very much happy who are unhappy in his kingdom. This was the work of happy prince. He was trying to make all the people happy who are unhappy in the city. The next day the swallow flew down to the harbor, near the harbor. He sat on the mast of a large vessel and watched the sailors working. I am going to Egypt, cried the swallow. When she was just going to uh, leave the place, okay, leave the company uh, of the happy prince, because she had to reach there, Egypt, because once the nature will get cold, enough cold, she won't be able to fly high in the sky and reach at the place where she was supposed to be. But nobody minded, and when the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince. I have come to bid you goodbye, he cried. Means the swallow reached to the happy prince and said, I am here to say you goodbye, okay? And now I am going to Egypt. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. This was the request once again. Will you not stay with me one night longer? And this is one more request. It is winter, answered the swallow, and the snow will soon be here. In Egypt, the sun is warm on the green palm tree, and the crocodiles lie in the mud and look lazily about them. Now she is telling that these are the hardship I may face if I will stay here. Okay. In the square below, said the happy prince, there stands a little match girl. She has let her matches fall in the gutter. Match girls, just like a lighter. And means her lighter matchbox has fallen in the gutter, and they are all spoiled. Her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money. And she is crying, means she is weeping, okay, because of her fault. She has no shoes, okay, or stockings, and her little head is bare. Pluck out my other eyes and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. See how the narrator is trying to, how the happy prince, the statue of happy prince, is trying to make the unhappy people, okay, happy. Here, the next case is of a small girl, okay, who has lost his, what is that, matches, and she is very much unhappy, and she thought that when I will reach my home, my father will just beat me. So, so then the statue of Happy Prince is commanding, requesting the seller that take out of his another eye, okay, and just give it to the little girl so that he could just uh, use that and can do the needful. I will stay with you one night, okay, longer, said the swallow, but I cannot pluck out your eye. You would be quite blind then. How can he be blind? A statue can't be blind, but actually he means that you will look very ugly, okay, and you will not be able to look if he will be blind. A statue will be blind, and actually these are the eyes, okay, through which he could see that who are the unhappy people. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, Do as I command you. This was the request. So he plucked out the prince, okay, other eye. Uh, the bird, tiny bird, did the way he was commanded and darted down with it. And now she flew. He shoved past the match girls, okay, and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hands. And now the tiny bird, okay, gave that priceless eye, priceless stone, priceless sapphires in the palms, in the hands of, the little girl who was crying. What a lovely bit of glass, cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. Means she became very happy. Then the swallow came back to the prince. You are blind. Now he said, so I will stay with you always. And now, because of the kind nature of happy prince, okay, the swallow decided to stay always with the happy prince, because now the happy prince cannot see, and uh, the bird wanted to just live with him because of this. So this shows that the bird was also very kind hearted. No, little swallow, said the poor prince, you must go away to Egypt. No, I will stay with you always, said the swallow, and he slept at the prince's feet. All the next day he sat on the prince's shoulder and told him stories of what he had seen in strange lands. And now the mindset, the objective of life of the little swallow has changed, and now she was going to give the company of going to give the company, okay, to the uh, happy prince. And now she used to just entertain him and narrate the story around the city. Dear little swallow, said the prince, you tell me of marvelous things, but more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women. Now this is the conversation between uh, the the tiny bird, okay, and the statue, that he was very much happy, okay, mesmerized, or of the story of men and women. There is no mystery so great as misery. This was the problem. Fly over my city, little fellow, and tell me what you see there. Now, this is the request once again. The happy prince now cannot see, and he requested that the swallow should, fly over the city, and could tell him that what actually is going on this city. So the swallow flew over the great city and saw the rich making merry in their beautiful houses, with the beggars were sitting at the gates. He flew into dark lanes and saw the white faces of starving children looking out listless at the black streets. Okay, see the explanation of this story. Here, the little tiny bird is going to give explanation that the rich people are very much happy in their houses. The beggars are, sitting at the gates, okay, that they can get something. And white faces means some children are looking, okay, listlessly, hopelessly, okay, at the black streets. Under the archway of a bridge, two little boys were lying in each other's arms to try and keep themselves warm. This is the most pathetic condition, okay, she could see. Behold, the two small children were hugging each other in order to warm up each one's, okay, body because of the extreme cold weather. How hungry we are, they said. You must not lie here, shouted the watchman. And even the watchman of the rich people was not allowing them to stay there. And they wandered out into the rain. And then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. I am covered with a fine gold, said the prince. You must take it off leaf by leaf and give it to the poor. And now this was the last um, request of the happy prince. He suggested that my upper part body is wrapped in fine gold plates of leaves. You just wrap it off, okay, and give it to the poor children. The living always think the gold can make them happy. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold, the swallow picked off till the happy prince looked quite dull and grey. and now she did uh, the things she was asked for. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold he brought to the poor, and the children faces grew rosier. And now the children, okay, after getting the plates of gold, they become happy. Rosier means color that is symbolic of happiness. And they laughed and played in the street. We have bread. Now they cried. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. And now finally the cold weather had ascended. And now see the condition of the bird will be more pathetic. The streets looked as if they were, okay, made of silver. This was the foggy, okay, environment. Everybody went about in furs, and the little boys wore, okay, scarlet caps and skated on the ice. This was the condition, okay, and everybody had, put on sweater jackets or fur coats in order to save themselves from the extreme cold weather. The poor little swallow grew colder and colder, but he would not leave the prince, okay. He loved him too well. He picked up crumbs outside the baker's door when the baker was not looking. Means this way she was, eating. This way she was collecting some food and having it, and tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. And when she was feeling cold, she used to fly. She used to just flap the wings and warm up his body. But at last he knew that he was going to die. He had just enough strength to fly up to the prince's shoulder once more. And now the bird could see that now she was going to die very soon, because she was lacking energy. Goodbye, dear prince, he murmured. Will you let me kiss your hand? This was the affection. I am glad that you are going to Egypt at last, little swallow, said the prince. You have stayed too long here, but you must kiss me on the lips, for I love you. This is the emotional, okay, attachment. It is not to Egypt that I am going, said the swallow. I am going to the house of death. And now she realized the end his end. Death is the brother of sleep. Is he not? Now see how philosophers he is. He is. And he kissed the happy prince, okay, on the lip and fell down dead at his feet. At the moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue, as if something had broken. The fact is that the leaden heart had snapped right into two. Means the body, means the heart of the bust of the statue was broken. Okay, snap means broken. It certainly was a dreadful hard frost. Early the next morning, the mayor was walking in the square, caretaker, okay, of the town, a square below, in company with the town councillors. As they passed the column, he looked up at the statue. Dear me, how shabby the happy prince looks, he said. How shabby indeed, cried the town councillors, who always agreed with the mayor, and they went up to look at it. The ruby has fallen out of his, sword. His eyes are gone, and he is golden no longer. It means all the precious things were taken up from the body of, the happy prince, and given to the poor people in order to make them happy. And now he was looking very shabby. We know all these things, said the mayor. In fact, he is little better than a beggar. Now he was not looking as a prince, he was looking just like a beggar. Little better than a beggar, said the town councillor. And he is actually a dead bird, okay, at his feet, continued the mayor. We must really issue a proclamation that birds are not to be allowed to die here. Now see the minister's declaration, and the town clerk made a note of the suggestion. So they pulled down the statue of the happy prince. As he is no longer beautiful, he is no longer useful, said the art professor, okay, at the university. Then they melted the statue, okay, in a furnace. What a strange thing, said the overseer of the workmen at the foundry. This broken lead heart will not melt, okay, in the furnace. Means they were trying to melt the metal, okay, of the statue so that they could use and sell it. We must throw it, okay, away. So they threw it on a dust heap where the dead swallow was. Also. Now they were united after throwing at the same place. Bring me the two most precious thing in the city, said God. Okay. Now it is the heavenly proclamation to one of his angels, and the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. And these two, bird and the statue of the happy prince, were taken by the angel of the God. You have rightly chosen, okay, said God, for in my garden of paradise this little bird shall sing forever more, and in my city of gold the happy prince shall praise me. This is the story ends here. Oscar Wilde. This shows that finally the dead happy prince, the dead swallow bird were given life in the heaven, and now they are enjoying their life there. The happy prince is going to praise the God, and the tiny swallow bird is going to sing, okay, all the time. This shows her happiness and excitement. Thank you very much. You will do all the NCERT questions, okay, of this chapter.